Hello, everyone. My name is Brian Albertson, and I work here in the Office of Admissions at Illinois State University. Thank you so much for joining us today for the application walkthrough for a first time in college freshman. Again, this walkthrough will cover the first time in college domestic freshman application for admission to Illinois State University. Please feel free to pause this video at any time if you need to take a little bit of extra time on the application. You'll be able to come back to this video at any time. Well, let's get started. Here we are on the main Illinois State University webpage. Up in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see this Apply button. We're going to click on that Apply button, which brings you to our Applying to Illinois State page. All of us are going to click on the View Student Application Portal. And once we're here, you have two options. If you've already began an account or created an account or began an application for admission, you will be a returning user. If you're a first-time user, you will create your account, and then you'll use an email address that you have access to, your first name, last name, and date of birth. An email will be sent to the email used on this form for you to activate your account. Again, for those of us who already have an account, we will use returning users. Right. And once we're logged in, this will likely look a little bit different for you. It should have your name in the top right-hand corner. And so we're using Reggie Redbird's account today. And you will likely not have any applications for admission already started. So we'll click down here where it says Start New Application. All of us will be clicking the undergraduate application because you're an undergraduate seeking student for your bachelor's level degree. So click on undergraduate and create that application, and then you'll open the application as well. So everyone should be here at the application overview page. A few things we want to talk about in terms of the application process. Admission to Illinois State is a competitive process, and so applying early to the university is highly recommended, especially for programs that are more competitive than others on campus. You will be eligible to receive an admission decision once we have all of the information we need and that are required to review your application for admission. And your application is valid for 3 terms. So if you're applying for fall 2021 enrollment, your application will be valid for that fall term, spring term, and the following summer term, but it would not be good for the fall 2022 term. An application fee is required to complete the application process, which is $50. However, some students may qualify for a economic hardship waiver based on qualifying for free and reduced lunch at their high school. Disciplinary and criminal activity disclosure, we will be asking for that information in the application today. That is something you'll want to pause and likely take a little bit of extra time on, but that will be part of the process. And then we also have our diversity and inclusion statement. So this is a core value of Illinois State, and we also encourage all students applying to read this statement and think, does this resonate with me, and am I able to agree with this statement as well? Because again, it's a core value of the university. If you have any questions, you can always contact us, but we'll click continue here. All right, so for student type, have you previously attended Illinois State? That would be no. Will you have attended any college or university by the time you start at Illinois State? For most students, this is no. Now, some students will have completed dual credit coursework where they have completed that at, say, a community college or other four-year university. And you can still say yes to that. You'll still have that option for first time in college. But again, most of us have not attended a college at this point. So we're going to say first time in college. And so all students, if you are graduating this next spring from high school, you would be a first time in college freshman at Illinois State. All right, so we'll click continue there. Now is where we'll ask about your entry term and your academic program information. So most, if not all of us, will be applying for fall of 2021 enrollment, and then you'll be able to select your academic program. We offer over 150 degree programs. You can see all of them in this list here. So we have a number of options to choose from. So say, for example, I'm interested in our elementary education program. I can do our elementary education program, and that'll appear there. You'll want to make sure your selection is viewable in the select your major slot there. If you're not sure what you want to study, we do have undeclared all the way at the top of the list there. And so you can certainly select that if you're still deciding on a major, and that's perfectly okay. If you decide on a major later in the year, you can always give us a call and we can re-review your application based on that academic program of study. Now you can then select if you're interested in a pre-professional area, maybe pre-health. If you want to be a medical doctor, you can say pre-health and then medicine. If you're interested in our pre-law program or pre-vet program, those options are available as well. So we'll leave that as not selected and undeclared as our major. As we continue through the application, the next step of the process will be telling us a little bit about who you are as a person. And so this information here, you can see Reginald is the first name, the legal first name of Reggie Redbird. So we have Reginald, last name Redbird, preferred first name Reggie, he goes by Reggie. And then we're asking about any former names. And so Reggie does not have any former names that we know of. And so we're going to select no to that answer. Now, some of you may have former names that you've used, then you can select yes, and we'll ask you a little bit more information. And that allows us to compare your transcripts and any documents that may come in with that former name on it. Now, for those students with a social security number, we highly recommend you complete this next question here regarding your social security number, because this allows you to be awarded federal financial aid at Illinois State. Without this information, we would not be able to process your financial aid award letter. So we highly recommend that you fill this in if you do have a social security number, though it is not required. More about you, we'll ask you about your date of birth. So Reggie was born on February 17th, 2001. Gender, additional gender information. So if you'd like to give us additional gender information, you can certainly do so, including any pronouns. If you would like to include those, we can collect those on the application. Citizenship, we ask for your primary citizenship. Again, this is for domestic students, and so you should have a citizenship of the United States. And then military service, select the option that best describes your service in the United States military. All right, not served. Are you interested in participating in the ROTC program? And then the application fee waiver. Again, for students who qualify for a free or reduced lunch program at the high school, you would be able to select, well, no to the first question of if you're a faculty staff member, but you can select yes on this part, and we will request verification of that free and reduced lunch program. So only select this option if you do qualify for free and reduced lunch at your school. All right, moving on to the next page here for your contact information. We'll ask for your email here. We do recommend that you use a personal email address and not a school email address. And the reason for that is oftentimes your school email address is shut off at the end of the year or after you graduate from high school. So we want to stay in contact with you. So make sure you use a personal email address here. Phone number, we'll ask for your mobile phone number. And if you have a home phone number, you can certainly add that there. And then we're asking for permission to text you. And this is not so we can spam you. It's really for helpful reminders about your application for admission, upcoming events, and deadlines. And so it's really more of a helpful kind of thing than us trying to spam you through text messaging. We'll ask for your home and permanent address. And so this is Reggie's home address and permanent address, 201 Hovey Hall. That's the Office of Admissions in Normal, Illinois, 61790. So you'll want to complete that information there. Now, if your mailing address is different, you have an option to let us know what your mailing address is currently. And so you can submit that there. In terms of your residency, what's your state residency? Illinois will be many of you, but we know that we have a good number of students applying from out of state. And so you can select your residency there to let us know what state you currently reside in. And your social media handles. This is right here, you can see sharing this information will in no way affect your admission status. It's more of an engagement piece where we are able to engage with you on social media. It is not used in our review of your application file. All right, moving right along, we're into your family. We will be asking information about your ethnicity. Are you Hispanic, Latino, Latina, Latinx? And then select one or more of the following races. And so we've done that there. Legacy. We are asking, do you have any relatives who attend or have attended Illinois State University? Check all that apply. This allows us to award the Legacy Scholarship for students who qualify for the Legacy Scholarship. And so you can select which family members have attended previous to you. And then if you have any current immediate family members who are currently attending the university, you can let us know on the application as well. Reggie does not, so we're gonna answer no there. Parent and guardian degree. Has one or more of your parents or legal guardians received a college degree? And the reason why we're asking that is we know that first generation students need an additional support on campus. And so we wanna be able to target specific services and programming and resources to students who may need that additional support on campus. Well, we're asking for students to let us know if anyone in your immediate family would benefit from receiving information in Spanish. And so you can let us know here. And then this is where we're asking specifically for your parent or legal guardian information. And so you can put your father or stepfather, mother, stepmother, or legal guardian here. We only need one parent on this form or one legal guardian, but you can add two if you would like to. All right, just filling in some information about our parents here. All right, so we have Reggie's dad's information in the application now. Does this person work at Illinois State University? I'm going to say yes, he does. And would you like to add a second parent or guardian? We don't want to add one right now, but it is, again, it's just required to put one in. You don't have to put both in at this point. All right, criminal and disciplinary disclosure. Criminal activity disclosure, we're going to say no to these questions, but if you do click yes to these questions, we will be asking about about that information. This is probably a good time to pause this video and work on this section. We do recommend spending some good time in here, just making sure you have all of the information that you need. But if you're able to select no to both of these questions, we'll keep moving along in the application. All right, so in terms of schools attended, we are asking you to list each and every institution you have attended, including any college or university in which you were enrolled, and then any high school you attended, including diploma equivalent programs, homeschool, GED programs as well. Now, if you are applying test optional as a freshman applicant, a first time in college freshman applicant, you will be required to include your unofficial transcripts at this point within the application. So we will add the specific schools that we have attended. So you can see we've already added a few schools here. So Reggie has attended Normal Community High School. Now, when you type this school in and you type your school in, you will want to make sure that you select that school from the drop-down menu. And so if the city and state does not autofill, you will want to make sure that you go back and retype that in the institution line and make sure that you select it from the drop-down. You'll add in your dates attended. Your level of study will be high school. So make sure that that is consistent as high school for the high school you attended. And then the degree that you've earned, if you are graduating from high school, that will be your high school diploma. Date conferred or expected, you can use either May or June. It's the same in our system. We understand that that would be a springtime or summer graduate from high school. And so you can use either May or June. You don't need the exact specific date. Just using May or June will be the best. You can then add your PDF or scanned pages for your transcript in this section here. Now, again, if you are not submitting a test score with your application, you will be required to submit an unofficial transcript to receive an admission decision. So again, this is where you will complete that information. Now, if you've completed dual credit, you can certainly add that information here. And so we're going to say that the level of study at Heartland Community College or whichever community college or four-year school you might have completed, you can add that in there. And then the level of study would be dual credit or dual enrollment, and no degree would be awarded for that or expected. Okay. Now, for college courses in progress, you do not need to list advanced placement or international baccalaureate program courses. You do not need to list your dual enrollment or dual credit courses at high school, and you do not need to list courses that are already offered or listed on your transcript as well. Now, moving right along into your high school course information, I would highly recommend that you have your high school transcript pulled up either on your screen now, a separate screen, or maybe printed off from the website. Because what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be going through each subject area and telling us which specific courses you have taken and how many semesters of those course areas you've taken. So for example, English and social studies, this would be 8 semesters. And so in the state of Illinois, it's required that students complete at least 8 semesters of English coursework. And so that would be an 8+. Again, these are semesters, not years. So make sure that you're doing this carefully and correctly. Social studies, you will select the number of social studies semesters you've taken of course credit. Natural science, so this would be your biology, chemistry, physics, agricultural sciences courses, really any science with a lab component to it. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about natural science. If you're thinking about a food science or an astronomy course, that would not necessarily fall into this natural science area. It's again, those biology, chemistry, physics courses with a lab component. Math, we're asking you about how many semesters of different math courses you've taken, so please let us know and input that information here. Fine arts and foreign language, so we want to know how many semesters of fine arts coursework you've taken. Maybe you've been in a band or choir your entire time in high school. That would likely be 4+, so 4 or more semesters. And then we're asking the same information for Spanish, French, German, Chinese, Latin, Italian, Japanese, and other foreign language. So this is to make sure that all of these questions are really to make sure that you meet the curricular requirements for admission to the university. Now at the bottom of this page, we're asking for your grade point average. Your grade point average is used in your official admission decision and scholarship decisions. So we want to make sure we do this carefully and correctly. The GPA scale, the majority of students are on a 4.0 scale. Now, some students who are on a 4.0 scale may have a GPA above 4.0. So you may have a 4.5, a 4.6. That does not automatically mean that you are on a 5.0 scale. If you have questions about this, you are more than welcome to contact our office about this or contact your school counselor for more information to ask what type of scale you're on. But again, most students are on a 4.0 scale. When we put in our GPA here, so Reggie has a 3.75 GPA, that GPA stays the same. If you are on a 5.0 scale or think you're on a 5.0 scale and you put in your information as a 3.75, your GPA is then automatically converted to a 4.0 scale, which drops it by 1 point. So again, if you think you're on a 4.0 scale, put it in as 4.0 and it won't change. But if you put it in on a 5.0, it does recalculate to a 4.0 GPA scale. All right, so we're back to a 4.0 and we're going to keep moving along here. We then ask about your test score information, so ACT or SAT. We know that many students this year did not have access to test scores, and so that is why Illinois State adopted a test optional admission policy for fall 2021 enrollment. Applicants who opt not to submit this test score information are required again to submit an unofficial transcript on this application or at a later date. Now, if you are submitting this information, you can use the drop-down menus here to let us know what date you took the exam. And we can enter in these sub-scores here. All right. And then we'll also ask if you would be retaking the ACT or the SAT. All right, so moving along here. This next page will be about you as a student and your story. And so the most important part of this page here is the optional personal statement. This might be another area where you choose to pause the video at this point so you can spend a little bit of time answering these questions. Now, this personal statement, all students are welcome to submit a personal statement. It won't hurt your chances to be admitted to Illinois State. What I always like to tell students is that this is your opportunity to let us know a little bit additional context about you as a student and your grades and maybe any circumstances that have affected your grades and how you feel ready to engage in the curriculum and the campus community at Illinois State University. Now you do have the option to upload that personal statement here. It's not a free-form box. This is where you would select this file, either a PDF or Word document, and then click upload. In the classroom, we'll ask you about any honors courses taken, AP courses, International Baccalaureate, and if you will be receiving the State Seal of Biliteracy. You can also let us know additional academic achievements for which you are proud, and so you can let us know there. Outside the classroom, we're asking about your involvement in activities outside the classroom. Are you a member of any of these college-bound or college access programs? These programs are specific to students who are receiving additional support from an outside organization. It may be at school, but it's an outside organization from school to help them apply and enroll and often persist through college. And so this is not general involvement. This is, again, specific to college-bound and college access programs. And so in what extracurricular activities have you been involved? And so we can you can let us know what activities you've been involved in, and this helps us understand, again, a little bit more about you as an applicant and potentially even connect you to opportunities on our campus that may be of interest to you. So Reggie, he has been actually a huge fan of League of Legends lately. He's a big esports guy. And then he's also very talented because he plays in the jazz band and the marching band at school. And so we want to make sure to capture that information that not only is Reggie involved in League of Legends esports, but he's also a very talented saxophonist. And so we want to include that information here. We also allow you to tell us a little bit more about your involvement outside the classroom. You can do that in this box as well. And then your interest in Illinois State. How did you first learn about Illinois State? Reggie learned of it from his family members, and his family members also most influenced him to apply to the university. And so you can include whoever that is there. If you do have a specific maybe school counselor, we'd love to know if a school counselor recommended that you apply to the university, or maybe a teacher. We'd love to know who that specific person is. And we're already at the end of the application. And so this is where you will certify the information that you submitted in the application is truthful, correct, and complete. And so you will insert your digital signature here. So Reggie Redbird is signing his full legal name to say that he is saying that this is true information and it's not false. And he understands that if this information changes, he will contact the Office of Admissions to let us know. You then have the option to submit the application. And so if you would like to submit the application, you certainly can. If you do not qualify for that economic hardship waiver, you would be able to submit payment and then submit the application after submitting the $50 application fee that is required to apply. That does it for the application walkthrough. Congratulations on applying to Illinois State University. We thank you for your interest. Please feel free to give us an email with any questions you have or any follow-up that you may need to ask us in terms of your application, completing your application with additional materials, and a timeline for a response. Thank you so much, everybody. We hope you have a great night, and thank you so much. Bye-bye.